What's up, guys? Welcome back to The Educated Barfly. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit differently. We're going to do two of the same cocktails side by side using different syrups because I was just intrigued by this article that I read this week. So I read this periodical called Punch. You can go subscribe to them at punchdrink.com or visit their site. They have a lot of really great recipes and articles there. I use some of it for fodder on this channel. And while I was reading it, Cara Newman, one of my favorite writers, wrote an article about how Dale Degroff created this new syrup called triple syrup. So triple syrup is Dale Degroff's answer to basically replacing simple syrup or honey syrup in a cocktail. He created this syrup because the simple syrup is like a little too sharp and uninteresting in like a sour. And honey syrup, which is the other one of the other components in this, is too warm and too flavorful. And even if you use a honey syrup that is not so flavorful or less flavorful than others, like wildflower or clover honey, it just like makes the cocktail all about the honey and not necessarily about the balance of flavors. And so what he did is he made this syrup that's actually a blend of simple syrup, agave syrup, and honey syrup, put together to sort of give you the sharpness of the sugar, but then also the warmth of the honey. And then you got that nice agave note, which is very mild kind of in it as well. It's a very interesting flavored syrup. I tasted it on its own. I haven't tasted it in a cocktail, but I thought you guys like to have cocktails two ways all the time. Anyway, what I'll be doing is making a Gold Rush today, which is a cocktail by TJ Siegel of Milk and Honey, created in 2001. We're going to be doing just a regular Gold Rush first, and then we're going to do the triple syrup Gold Rush and see how they compare. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is 3/4 of an ounce of lemon juice, put it into our tin, and then 3/4 of an ounce of honey syrup. And this honey syrup is a 3-to-1 ratio that I'm using. And then we're just going to do 2 ounces of our bourbon. Oh, by the way, I don't want to forget this. We have to thank Christopher Nikolai, Alex Adkins, and Nathan Green for supplying us with this wonderful bottle of bourbon that we are using. Thank you guys so much for helping support the channel. All right, so we're going to add ice into our glass, add some ice to our tin, give it a nice shake. All right, strain it into our glass. A lot of people like to put this cocktail on a big rock, but I like to put it on little cubes because I think the idea behind it was really to make all the cubes look like pieces of gold when the golden color of the cocktail kind of refracted through it. Just as a side note, do what you want, but I like to do it that way. All right, let's taste it. Tastes like a Gold Rush, and I gotta say that the honey is incredibly prevalent. It balances out the lemon really nicely, and you do get that nice kind of vanilla caramel warmth of the bourbon. All right, now let's see how it compares with the triple syrup. Got a new tin so we don't cross-contaminate. So first thing we're gonna do, again, 3/4 an ounce of lemon juice. And then we're going to be using 3/4 of an ounce of our triple syrup, and then 2 ounces of bourbon. Add our cocktail, give it a nice and giving you the nice pained shake face there. All right, let's see how this compares. I gotta say, that is really, really good. Really interesting. You know, I kind of want to taste it. So what's interesting actually is that this actually tastes more three-dimensional or something. Like, it has this complexity to it that is sort of missing from just the honey inside the other cocktail. It has this nice sharpness on the front end, and then it opens up to this really, really warm kind of sweetness, and then it devolves into that honey flavor, but the honey flavor doesn't overtake the cocktail. I gotta say, I mean, honestly, when I first read the article about triple syrup, I was like, did Dale Degroff lose his mind? But I gotta say, like, the guy's a genius. He's really onto something. And what's really nice is that it doesn't overtake the lemon either. You've got the lemon, it's nice and tart, but you have like the three different flavors in those sweeteners, right? Combined in the ratio, because they're not combined in a 1-to-1 ratio. It's actually 1 part of sugar to a half part of agave to a quarter of a part of honey. So honey being the least because it's the most flavorful. He also uses a 1-to-1 honey. So usually I use a 3-to-1 honey because I think 1-to-1 honey in cocktails doesn't read. So what I do is I use mostly honey, and then I use 1 part of hot water to thin it out enough to just basically let go of the viscosity. And then the other thing that I do is I don't usually make an agave syrup because agave is less viscous than honey. So I usually just use agave straight out of the bottle because it mixes quite well. It doesn't actually need to be watered down. What Dale Degroff did here is he made a 1-to-1 simple syrup. Then he made a 1-to-1 agave syrup as well, using 1 part agave to 1 part hot water, blended that, and then 1-to-1 honey. It works really well here because you want to basically retain the flavor of the honey without retaining too much of the sweetness. And so that dilution kind of ratio makes a lot of sense. So there it is, guys. The Gold Rush by TJ Siegel, done 2 different ways. I hope you found this informative and interesting. I hope you try this triple syrup because this is definitely a type of syrup that you could have in your repertoire, and it could replace simple syrup for you, and maybe even honey syrup. And obviously it can replace honey syrup because it did a really great job in this cocktail as well. And so you can make a lot of different sour variations. This is definitely a syrup that can be done as a regular syrup along with your simple. So this is something that I think I'll keep in stock all the time. The other thing that I kind of wanted to talk about too, and this is a little bit of a commercial, but I'm not being paid to say it, is this company called Crew reached out to me, Crew Bottle Company. They reached out to me and they gave me these really awesome bottles. Pretty cool, right? Well, the game-changing thing about this bottle and what I really like about it is that it actually unscrews from the bottom, right? So you don't have to use a bottle brush to clean it. Now, for a professional bartender or professional bars, this is kind of a game-changing thing. I'm not sure why more people hadn't thought about this, because what happens is that when you're cleaning out your bottles, you get gunk stuck right in there, and that is really difficult to reach. So this bottle is pretty awesome. I really love it. You guys should go check them out at crewbottle.com. They did not pay me to say that. They gave me some free stuff. But this, I mean, this is something that I'm very actually excited about. I'm glad that I have a few of these bottles. All right, guys, if you like our channel, please hit like and subscribe, and check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/educatedbarfly. We've got some new tiers that I put there, so you should check them out. They're pretty cool. And then we have YouTube membership. If that's what floats your boat, you can check out our virtual bottle program on our website, theeducatedbarfly.com, and I'll see you guys on another time.